What's up, guys? I said we got projects coming up, and we're getting right into it. Start with Steph's machine, the 21 Rzr XP1K Trails and Rocks Edition. This machine from the factory does great on technical trails. So the machine from the factory comes with gear reduction. It already comes with bead locks, 30-inch Pro Armor Crawler XG tires, which have done great. We weren't sure how they were going to do, but overall, I think they've done well. The only thing I've seen that I don't really like about them is they don't clear out mud all that well. She's done a lot of cool things with 30-inch tires, but it's time to upgrade. If you were looking in the background of our Windrock wrap-up video, you may have noticed it looks like she has different tires on there, and you're correct.
That is correct.
She's now running Dude's 32-inch sticky Roxxzillas on his System 3 SP5 rims. So she ended up buying that setup off of him. The Roxxzillas still had life in them. I'll explain exactly what he's doing when we get to his first video for upgrades, but this is what she's going to be running this year. From there, she may go bigger. Originally, she did want to do 35s. Machine's not really set up for that, so we're going to do 32s, the Zillas, stickies, and see how she likes that. And then when these are worn, you know, we'll figure out what she wants to do tire-wise. She may try something other than a Zilla, and she may go bigger. We don't know. And then that'll create more stuff we have to address to accommodate 35s, but we'll address those when we get there. We did a video a while back test fitting these exact rims and tires on her machine to see if they would clear, and they did. Felt a little sluggish in high gear, but not too bad. That was before she had these McNasty plates on, which take up quite a bit of space. I'm not even sure if she would hit there with these tires on. I was turning them to see. It does look like if she's going up an obstacle and compressing the suspension, she's gonna hit here. So obviously she could run it the way it is. It's probably gonna rub, but it's probably rideable. So now that we have time before our next big trip, and it's really cold, there's probably not going to be any last second trips. We have time to do this correctly, especially since she may want to run 35s. I don't see 35s fitting on there without hitting. So right from the start, we're going to do something rare for us, and we're going to do it correctly. So we got her a set of Super ATV high clearance 2-inch forward offset A-arms. The biggest reason we did the 2-inch forward offset is because she may want to do the 35s. So we want to give her as much room as possible. This set came with bushings already pre-installed, which is cool. The Super ATV ones for my Pro XP did not. This set also came with heavy-duty tie rods, so we got all the parts here. Here's the new actual rods, a lot beefier than stock. When I have it apart, I'll show you the size difference. So the Trails and Rocks does come with high clearance A-arms from the factory, but this is more to address the forward offset aspect of this whole thing to make room for the tires. If you don't know, I have the 2020 Pro XP, and I run the 1.5-inch forward offset A-arms from Super ATV. They've taken a beating, and they've done just fine for me. So that's the route we went for her machine as well. After our latest Windrock trip, I noticed one of her ball joints does seem a little sloppy. So instead of pressing all the factory ones out, pressing them in these new A-arms, they've already got close to 1,000 miles on them. We just got her new ball joints. So I did the Super ATV ones on mine, and I wore them out pretty quickly. And even before that, I had gone through a couple lower ball joints. They just seemed to wear out real quick. So I didn't want to constantly be doing ball joints. So we're just going to do this project right the first time and we got some good ball joints. So we went with the Kryptonite set. We haven't ran Kryptonites yet. I hear good things. I've been wanting to try them on my machine, which I will be doing. But like I said, I don't want to be doing this all the time, so I just got her a set too. The big thing with these is there's no snap ring, and they have a lifetime warranty. So instead of the snap ring retaining it, it's actually threaded, comes apart, so you can press in this section of the ball joint. Then you put the dust boot and cap over the ball joint through the A-arm, and then just torque this down. They're greasable. You got that little hole and a grease fitting put in there. So I'm really excited to try these out. That dust cap has to be torqued to 60 foot-pounds. It's an 1 5/8" socket. I don't have one here, so I got one coming. So I'll be able to get them pressed in, but the torquing thing I'm gonna do once I have them installed on the machine and I have that socket, of course. So that's the plan. Not sure if I'm doing this all in one day, but all this will be on this video. I'm gonna get this thing in the air and get it torn apart, and I'll catch up with you then.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, we got the machine all taken apart. Except for the axles, obviously. I am working on pulling those so I can put some grease on the splines going into the diff so they're not such a pain in the ass to remove in case we have to do that. I installed the new Kryptonite ball joints. I don't have them torqued down yet, just kind of pressed in and have the nut on top. I ended up using this piece here to press it on the hydraulic press. You want to make sure you're pressing on this outside edge here, so this kind of worked out perfect. So here's the factory upper A-arm and then the new Super ATV. You can see if you line up the mounting holes like this, you can see what you're doing. You're moving the ball joint forward to make more room for tires. Obviously, they're a little bit beefier too. Same idea with the lowers. They look like they have a little more arch to them than the factory ones, a little beefier. And then we have the camber adjustments. Both of the lower bushings are greasable. And then one on the top is greasable. And then here is the tie rod kit. And this kit comes with the A-arms. We didn't get this separately, but yeah, definitely beefier. So I can get the arms installed, but I'm stuck from that point on until I get a 1 5/8" socket to torque down those ball joints. I forgot to mention in the beginning of this, I know in one of the last videos after Windrock, I noticed Steph's machine needed a carrier bearing, real noisy. I haven't had good luck with Super ATV wheel bearings, but I did decide to try the Super ATV carrier bearing. This is just the cast aluminum ones. So if it doesn't work out, it didn't really cost me more than a factory one, but we're gonna give that a whirl, see how that goes.
One pair of pants later.
So Steph's machine, that project is ever evolving, is what we'll call it. We got the lower A-arms just hanging there. I got the new tie rods just kind of hanging there. They're not set. They're not all the way on yet. Got the new Super ATV carrier bearing installed, ready to go. So that's nice and quiet now. We got the OSHA approved pallets here. I got the axles out. That's what I was trying to do. I didn't need to pull them because you don't need to pull them to do A-arms. I wanted to grease them so they're not so hard to remove. Well, she's getting new axles. I managed to destroy both of them.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
This has kind of been a theme for me. I cannot remove an axle for the life of me without breaking it. I pulled the CV out of the cup. It looks like there's a little retaining ring that kind of goes in these grooves. At least from taking a quick glance at it, that's what it looks like. I ripped one of the boots. The other one's probably still fine. So if I can figure out how to put it back together, I'll keep one as a spare. Other than that, I got her new axles. So I can only go so far in this project now. We're waiting on axles, and we're also waiting on one other thing. I don't know if that's going to be in this video or not. We'll see how long it takes to get here. But this project is evolving. So next up, I'm going to put the upper A-arms on, and I'm going to start torquing all the ball joints. Got the socket, so we're ready to do that. So we got the uppers installed. I got Loctite on those bolts. I got the tops torqued down. We're gonna leave the bottom alone for now, just hanging there. And now we're gonna torque the Kryptonite ball joints down. Like I said before, they don't have a snap ring retainer. It's actually this nut and dust boot that hold it on. So we'll thread this down, and then we're gonna torque this to 60 foot-pounds. I do have a little blue Loctite on there. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to or not, but I decided to do that just to make sure they don't loosen up. I'm super happy with the installation of the Kryptonite ball joints. Just hope they hold up well, and if they don't, I hope the warranty is as good as they say it is. All we got left now on the ball joints is to install the Rzr fittings on all four of these, and probably throw some grease in them, and they're done. Because of my screw up with the axles, this project's probably dead in the water till tomorrow when the new axles come in, so we'll probably pick this video up then.
The next morning.
We're gonna try the Rhino 2.0s from Super ATV. I kind of see the reviews are all over the place on those, but they're around the same price as the factory ones. I know there's a chance I'm doing something wrong, but I don't like how easily I pulled the factory ones apart. I was pulling straight, and I didn't pull that hard. I've seen a lot of videos of people giving their everything, and it just not coming out. And I didn't pull that hard, and they both just fell apart, and that little retaining ring is broke on both. So we're gonna give the Rhino 2.0 a try. So I'm gonna get those greased up, put them in, and just kind of finish building the front end here. So most of it is back together. So I just got to do the alignment now and put the nuts on the lower A-arms, torque those down, and then once I get the toe set, I just got to put the tie rod boots on and zip tie those on. And I gotta play with the brake lines a little bit. They both seem a little too short to run it the way Super ATV has it, because they have a hole here, hole here, hole here. And with this amount of brake line, you can't run it like that. So I gotta play with that a little bit.
Tomorrow for sure.
Alright guys, the new Rhino axle. This sucks. I was out here doing the alignment and I noticed that the boot is ripped already. So I'm definitely gonna email Super ATV. They've been in the machine for a day. It's never even been driven. It's not sagging past full droop. I don't know. I was literally doing the alignment and I saw that little tear. So it's pretty disappointing. I have read some reviews where people say the boots aren't that great on these. I know they have a warranty, so I'm hoping Super ATV honors that.
4 to 6 more days later.
I had emailed Super ATV and they took care of us. Got a new axle that's not ripped. So shout out to them. We don't work with them or anything. In this situation, you know, this was all done through email. I didn't have to call, didn't have to argue anything. I started this process over the New Year's holiday weekend, and it happened quick. We've been having a lot of unfortunate things with Steph's project and Dude's project, which you'll see eventually. And it was nice to have something work out all right. So I got another little update on this project too. I already did it, but when I first started doing this, I followed the instructions. It says put the steering stops in. I did that, but then I got to thinking, and it might be a pain in the ass having to do a bunch of 3-point turnabouts in some situations. So I explained to Steph what's going on, and I was going to have her use caution when the suspension's compressed and she's making a tight turn on a ledge or something like that. And I took them out and I put it all together. Had all these other issues. While waiting for parts, I was moving the A-arms up and down a little. I held them up and I was turning the wheel, and I did not like the angle on the CV shaft at the knuckle. So I went ahead, I pulled the tie rods back off, and I put those steering stops in. One other thing I did is I clearanced this McNasty bash plate here. The A-arm was actually hitting here. So like at that point it had already been hitting. So now she's got plenty of room. I'm gonna go ahead and put the passenger side back together again for the, I don't know how many times I've done it now, and I'll catch up with you then. So I got it back together. This is as far as I can go. You probably noticed that there are no shocks in the machine. That's because we got a spring kit coming. We're going to be putting some limit straps on this. So when all that stuff comes in, we're going to have a separate video on that, and putting the machine back on the ground and having the finished product. At first, this project was going to simply be A-arms, ball joints, and putting those Roxxzillas on. We were going to do the carrier bearing, but you know, the axle thing happened. Then we got some springs. Then we're like, well, we should get limit straps, and it's just kind of been growing ever since. So I don't want a crazy long video, so we'll stop it here, and then the next video with Steph's machine should be doing the spring kit and limit straps, and we'll see if anything else changes. Still going to be a cage coming for her machine. Look out for a part 2 of this project. In between this video and that video, you're probably going to see some stuff being done to Dude's machine or even my machine. Sorry if some of these videos are kind of all over the place. we have multiple projects going on at once. So that means I'm filming a lot of stuff all at once, and you know, sometimes I just run out of brain capacity for all this stuff. So I apologize if I missed anything, and if some of the stuff is not as in-depth as you would like. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If I know the answer, I'll let you know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!